Hi guys, it's Michael here from My Performance Health, and today we're going to look at the barbell Romanian deadlift. Now I'm going to do this just with the load of the bar itself, but please pay attention as we run through the execution of the exercise. So basically you'll have the bar loaded with your weights. Now you may be picking this up the floor or from a rack system like this, but you'll pull the bar close into your shins or knees depending where you're at. Depress your shoulders down because you want to take that load. And you're coming up. Now, we're not going to use the support of the racks here. Feet will be underneath hips. You will drive your feet hard in the earth. And I do want you to pretend like you're ripping the floor apart to get some stability. So feet hard in, rip the floor apart, keep the bar tight against you. Shoulders will depress down, okay? If we're relaxed in the posterior chain up the top, we won't have enough support through the whole movement, and that could cause a little bit of pressure on the lower back as well and not quite hit the areas that we want to target. So you're going to depress the shoulders down, specifically really to get those lats on to help stabilize. Bars tucked against you. Now from this position, we soften the knees a little bit. So we soften the knees and our bum and our hips will move back. Okay, so soften knees, our bum and hips will move back. The bar's going to stay against you and your shoulders are depressed down. You're going to come down in that movement. Now, you want to keep a neutral shin angle as best as possible. Neutral shin angle means we're in the middle here, we're not too flexed forward in the knees, and we're not too driven back as well, okay? So as we're coming down in the movement, we've got a neutral shin angle. We'll get to a point where basically the lumbar is going to try and roll and we'll lose a bit of tension off those hammies or go more onto the lower back. So everyone's a little bit different on this depending how tight you are, but you get to a range basically where we're going to go through where the hammies will tap out and that lumbar will take over. From this position here, you've got a neutral chin as well. Make sure as you're coming up, you keep the bar against you, drive your hips into the bar itself, okay, and keep the bar against you at all times. What we don't want to see is in this bottom position, you come up and the bar's off yourself. That's going to put a lot of pressure on your lower back. So deep press down, go through the movement, hips back, neutral shin angle, keep it against you. At the bottom position, really start to drive your hips in and squeeze, okay? Now through the movement, you should have a lot of that load, a lot of that tension, if done correctly, coming through the hamstrings, and then we're going to have a stretch in the glute as well, and then we're going to contract that glute as we drive in. And just make sure too in the top position, as you're coming down, we're not hyperextending the lower back. When you're coming up, when in that contraction, you're going to come through, drive the glutes, squeeze the abs to lock it out in that neutral position, okay? Don't extend the lower back as well.